November 11th, 2011, Neil Haywood is found dead in his hotel room, and the official cause of death is known as alcohol poisoning, which is suspicious because Neil Haywood is known to never drink. So, also even more suspicious, very hastily after his death, his remains are cremated with extremely large amounts of police protecting the cremation. Now we fast forward a few months, where Bo Xilai was now in the midst of and Wang have issues. Wang is his second-hand man, and he goes to Bo Xilai under the suspicion that his wife, Bo Xilai's wife, Miss Gu, is responsible for the murder. And Bo Xilai gets very upset about this, which leads to Wang's demotion. Now, Wang then goes to the U.S. consulate to seek asylum, where the content of what goes on in this is very suspicious, but it is thought that he passes secrets on to the United States government, for he could not possibly give a damn about his political career if he was to go to the U.S. asylum. So, all said and done, he gets arrested by Chinese police and is sent to a vacation. Now, I'm sure he had a great time there, but why do we care about this? Well, Bo Xilai was an extremely ambitious man and was viewed as a liability to the Chinese government, and was really good friends with local military leaders in the Jianding city area, which is where he was the head of the Communist Party. And they were very afraid, because when you're friends with military leaders and you're very ambitious, that can sometimes often lead to a military coup. So many of his good leader friends were interrogated, and so why even with all this said should we even care about this? Well, what is happening in China lately? Well, what you guys might know about what's happening in China is your little shirts that say "Made in China," and you know there's a lot of factories. But there's a lot more going on in China than what might meet the eye. Recently, there was a poll made in the Globe Times, which is the Beijing newspaper, which made a daring poll, and they asked people what they think is going on in China. And half the people actually answered that they think a revolution is very much possibly among them. So why in the world would people think that there's a revolution going on? Well, according to the Confucian philosophies, it says that politics are a moral issue, and if a ruler misbehaves, he can be overthrown. And with this being said, the Chinese population is growing restless, and the Communist Party is in deep trouble. Now, part of the reason of this is because of a huge wealth gap, and wealth gaps can also be measured in something called the Gini coefficient. Now, the Gini coefficient measures the inequality among values of a frequency distribution. In this case, the frequency distribution is being the wealth distribution. Now, although China is a very communist state, believe it or not, their frequency distribution is very similar to that of the United States of America. So right now on the scale, they are a 0.5, which leads to the idea that social unrest is very much upon them. Now, it wouldn't surprise you to hear that it's similar, because Occupy Wall Street was relatively social unrest. So, and now, even all of this is happening because over the past 30 years ago, leading up to now, the Chinese government was giving money systematically to people. But although they're giving money to some of the people, some people were not getting money, and this was meant to do an idea to inspire entrepreneurship. But what about all those people that weren't getting money? So you get a big wealth issue, and it's becoming a very sticky situation, and they're worrying that there could be a Jasmine Revolution, which is the Chinese equivalent of the Arab Spring. And why do we care about this? Well, obviously, if China lost the communist government, that would sort of be really big, and we would probably become on much better terms, because the United States has always been a really big advocate of Taiwan, and Taiwan is great allies with America, and if we could establish that type of relationship with China, it could really revolutionize the way the United States acts its foreign policy, and it could really change the way we act in North Korea. People that try to seek asylum across the Yalu River could have a much easier time of doing that, and South Korea and the United States and China could form a much better relationship in that sense. So that is why you should care about it.